Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you right now. It is 107 Best Coast time. We have a Bellator fighter with us today, a longtime friend of Verbal Taps, but we'll get to him in a second. First, we want to make sure if you guys have the opportunity, go support our friends over at Nogi BJJ Gear. Check this out. First of all, you wear this rash guard. Obviously, you get the back of their apparel, but on the front side, you get a topical Corona weight champ. Because I dare someone to tell you you're not right now. Everybody's fat, and they're probably, gained a few weight. I'm talking more about myself than you. But if you use the promotional code Grappling Hour 15, you get 15% off of whatever you put in your cart. All right, let's get to business. It's been ages since I've talked with this guest. Doesn't mean I haven't been keeping up with him. Doesn't mean I haven't seen what he's been up to. Doesn't mean I haven't hassled him off the air and given him mess for a number of reasons. One, too good looking. Two, his family is pro wrestling dynasty, and yet he went into fighting, which I guess is okay. But, could you do us a solid and do some finishing moves here and there? No, he's not going to do that for us. But it's been so nice to watch our friend continue to do great things in all promotions. Right now, just fought at Bellator 244, got a big win, and let's see if we can get him a bantamweight shot. It'd be nice if you, man, has a nice little gold to put on the shoulder right there. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for the very first time here on Grappling Hour, one gentleman, Josh Hill. Josh, how you doing, sir?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Not too bad. It is good to see you. It has been a while, but hey, man, I'm so happy for you. Big congrats on this weekend, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't even when was the last time I was on here. It was a long time ago.
It was a bit, and before we weren't doing by video, so you could never see me. You could never figure out what I look like to come beat me up. But I gotta ask, man. I mean, it was funny because this is how crazy the world is. Pre-pandemic, I was hitting you up to be like, "Can you give us a finishing move for like our pro wrestling week?" And you were like, "Yeah, let me get back to you, dude." So that's the world that we were living in pre-coronavirus. Did you have a move figured out finally?
I can't remember this actually. I was thinking about doing something, but I don't have a ring where I train, and I really wanted to use a ring. So that's why I never got around to doing it. So I need to hit up a gym that actually has a ring, and then maybe I can make it look good.
To be fair, you don't have to use a ring. Like,
I know, but it just looks way better.
I mean, fair, understandable, but like, I hope my intent was never to make you go out of your way to do extra stuff. It was always like, hey, if you got somebody around, if you could just powerbomb them real quick and make it look like it's jiu-jitsu, that'd be great.
I hear you. I wanted to make it, really good.
Well, I appreciate that. That's super nice of you. I've just always wondered that because inherently when you do have family in the business, is there ever a moment though when, the family looks at you and you're like, you're 12 years old now. You kind of need to have a finishing move by now.
Those were just regular every night beatings and wrestling matches between all my family pretty much. So I've been putting every move you can imagine, and I've probably put other people on every move I can imagine. So
have you ever tried to put a professional wrestling move while doing grappling training?
Yes, I have tried to do what position was I in? I tried to do a sharpshooter. Hard to do, especially when they're resisting, quite a bit. And I've tried to do a camel clutch as well. That one would have been pretty cool to pull off, at the old Iron Peak style.
Good for you, man. I would tell you this, the real key to a good sharpshooter, that's my move. And I can't understand how I'm better at it than a Canadian, but here we are. The real key is always 50-50. I've always told people, I'm like, you put yourself into that position. They don't call it 50-50 for a reason. You've got that shot to do that. And I will tell you, most of my friends, they have no fear of me leg locking them or arm barring them, but they are all deathly afraid of getting caught in like a Boston Crab or a sharpshooter. Like all of them are like anything else but that.
Oh yeah, it'd be totally humiliating.
Well, I mean, the good news is it has happened. So I do make sure of it, but I always try to pick on people who are pro wrestling fans. I feel like civilians who don't watch or care, it's like, that's just being mean to them. So, well, I mean, good for you, man. I appreciate the extra thing. And when we look to have WWE BJJ Week return in some form, we very much look forward to seeing a contribution from you, sir.
Absolutely. I gotta do it. I gotta get in there. So
Excellent. All right, let's talk a little bit about this fight that just came up, man, because I'm so interested to hear how one goes from fighting pre-corona and living that life. You're one of the last fights just under the rug there to now fighting in a very different situation. So tell us what happened, what transpired before the coronavirus in terms of fighting for you, and then how you had to maybe adjust your schedule in terms of your own training and how it impacted it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually got lucky. I was on the last North American card Bellator put on before the pandemic hit. So I just squeaked one in there and got my first win in Bellator. And yeah, so that went great, like normal, my training camps. And then I'd say for the first 3 months of the pandemic, I was just training, at home by myself, either running, hitting the bag, or just doing, resistance training on my own. And I could only do that for so much. I was starting to lose it. And so I decided I was going to head out to Team Alpha Male, where I usually always go in California. I didn't think we could actually fly over the border, but apparently we can, and there's really no restrictions. So I flew out there and I started training. I kept myself in good shape. And then about 2 weeks while I was out there, I got a call from a manager and got offered the Perez fight for August 21st. And then, yeah, so I was training out there, and then I came back home and finished my camp here. I probably got tested, I don't even know how many times, man, between before and then training here and then the fight week and then post-fight week. I've probably been tested like 20 times. But
so they do test you afterwards though, right?
No, so I got tested when I got there. We had to like quarantine in the room, and then we got tested again on I believe it was the Thursday, the day before the fight. And then we were out of there Saturday morning.
Jesus, dude, that turnaround time is so insane to me. Just for you guys to get used to having, you don't know when the next fight's coming, and then sometimes these notifications are like, "Hey, you're going in a week and a half. Congrats, get ready." So yeah. It's been kind of insane. Let me ask this though: when you say that you were off for 3 months, and I know this is always sensitive for athletes, did you end up gaining any weight?
Actually, no. I like I said, I was training 6 days a week still by myself, just staying in shape. And I got a 2-year-old daughter at home that does not stop, man. So she's my cardio, and I think I put muscle mass on just from like picking her up and playing with her. But no, I actually stayed in good shape. A lot of people didn't, but I was able to keep the weight off.
I mean, I'm glad you're hearing that some people didn't, because I have seen nothing but professional athletes that I've interviewed on this show telling me like, "Oh yeah, man, I lost weight." And I'm like, you could go fuck off. Like, just like, I get it's your profession and you're supposed to, but a lot of these guys were like, "I was just playing video games and the weight just came off, man. And man, it was crazy." So I guess that leads to my next question is, what were you doing to pass the time? Because I might have some guesses, but what are you doing in terms of like trying to keep your sanity when you don't have not only your outlet, but your profession?
Yeah, man, that's why I was going a bit mad, to be honest, and I was driving my wife crazy, and that's why I had to leave. I had to go and just go somewhere just to train for a bit, just to kind of get that release and get my mental health a little better. It just so happened that I got the fight in that time while I was out there. But yeah, man, it was tough, and it sucks when it's not only like you said, my profession, but it's like it's my therapy pretty much. I need to train, and it helps me just get some people have drugs and alcohol. I need to train, and to not have that with anybody else, it sucks. So it was tough, but we got through it.
Absolutely. And it's hard to describe to people that it's not like running, it's not like these solo athletic events. You need a dance partner in this.
Yeah.
And not only that, but most gyms are facing their own struggles. So the last thing you need to do is be able to go to those gyms and be like, "Hey, listen, make this about me."
Yeah.
I'm really needing this. And that's been the struggle that I've found for myself and a number of other people that we've talked to, both athletes and personalities and just regular hobbyists, is people are just saying, obviously this has got a therapeutic event in our brains, but that physical activity, just we normally release it there. And when you don't have a release for it, it's like, oh, yeah, I do see I'm kind of an asshole without it. Oh,
yeah,
no.
exactly.
But here's the good news. I do think part of the reason you were able to get to America is I just think other people aren't taking Americans. Like, I think you could
Yeah,
come to us. I
that's
just
probably
don't think anybody wants us right now.
that's probably very true, to be honest.
So, if that is the case, I mean, what did it feel like to go back to Team Alpha Male? I know that you've trained a number of times with them. Was there anything in particular that made this one different, just in given the circumstances that were around it?
Yeah, I probably just like because I appreciate it even more because I haven't trained in 3 months. So I was like a little kid in a candy store when I got back and be able to go on the mats. Actually, at my first practice, I went 100% and I ended up injured my shoulder and I had to take a couple of days off after my first one just because I was just trying to go balls to the wall and kind of didn't really warm up into it. But yeah, man, I think it made it yeah, it just made me appreciate it more just because I was able to finally train again after 3 months of no contact with anybody.
Absolutely. And that's something we've been trying to caution. I'm sorry you haven't listened to our shows. We've been trying to tell people, listen, as you get back in, don't go 100%. Like, it's like you're merging back onto the freeway. You're not going to be able to just merge back on and plow through somebody. You kind of have to look around, make sure you can get back on safely. So, I mean, obviously the hard part is for athletes, there is an element of you get that back. And part of it is you're excited by it. And part of it is, no, now I got to get back to business because I know where my goals are and I know where I want to be. So how difficult was it to keep a fighter's mentality in terms of a goal or goal setting during coronavirus when things looked very unpredictable or uncertain?
Yeah, surprisingly, it wasn't too bad. I luckily I had a couple teammates that were getting ready for fights too back here at home in Canada. So it wasn't just myself. So it always helps when other guys are training too. It just kind of adds to that atmosphere, and more training partners will come out. But yeah, it was just if anything, it just kind of made me like I really wanted to get on this August card because I don't know like you never know what's going to happen in the next month or two, right? We could go into another freaking lockdown, everything be closed up again. So I said, I'm like, get me on the quickest card you can. I want to get this in just in case, shit goes south again and may end up getting closed shop. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I would love to get on again, like November, December would be amazing if I get another one in before the year's out, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, just given the way that everybody's been putting together these fights and these events, especially for your levels, it is nice to see that they are taking care of you guys. So it does look like we will be closed doors for a bit, but as long as they keep you guys able to fight and safely for that, we're all for it. And it does look like, I would assume, like Bellator is continuing to pick their steam back up. So that would be good. Is it kind of hard at this time when they're facing so much stuff to like sneak into conversation like, man, this is crazy. Oh, you guys are doing such a good job. And I know things are crazy, but could I get a title shot?
Yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, I know that they have Patrick Mix versus Juan Archuleta are fighting for the belt next month. And then I know Sergio Pettis is probably the number one contender waiting for a title shot. So I think that puts me at the number 4 guy in the division. So I don't know if they could give me, a number 1 contender fight and then winner gets to fight for the title. That'd be cool with me. We'll see who they give me and where it'll be. I'm not sure if it'll be back at the Mohegan Sun or somewhere else. I've heard talks that they're going to Europe too. I would love to go out there. So we'll see what they do. I like to get my hands on that James Gallagher guy. Just because, everybody wants to fight him. He's the little kind of knockoff McGregor and just kind of talks a lot. And then, he's not a bad fighter. He's got some skill, but I think he's an easier fight than those 3 guys that I just mentioned for sure.
I mean, it's a nice mix. The thing that people don't always understand, and maybe again, because you grew up around the business, is that it is kind of nice when you've already got the heel and you're like, listen, I don't need to talk. I just do this bullshit and I just go out there and fight. You do what you do and I'll just show up and it'll be a great.
Yeah, I'm into it. I mean, if it was in Ireland, that'd be even better. I would be cool to come and play the. I mean, there's no crowd, so it's kind of different right now, so it wouldn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, that would be a good one. I'd love to go over to Europe and I would like to fight anybody, but like that one especially would be great.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm all about it. And more importantly, I just like the fact that, you're savvy enough to figure out like, Do I got to be the heel here? What do I got to do?
I'm naturally definitely not the heel, you know. So, but I mean, if somebody kind of leads the dance, I'll play along type thing. You know what I mean?
So I've found in my experience, and I've worked a lot of helping people with their speaking or their speaking ability or their ability to perform. And one of the first things I'll tell them is, listen, don't be the heel if you're not the heel. And they go, okay. And I go, however, that doesn't mean you can just get away with not being a heel sometimes. Sometimes if you want to, you can still do things that seem a little bit like you're playing both sides. And they go, oh. And I'm like, there's always a way that you can get heat. It's just, what do you want to do with that heat? Do you want it to manifest in a fight? Do you want it to manifest in attention? And I mean, there's definitely things that you could say. I mean, and I think there's ways to goat you. I mean, if I were to tell you something about syrup and saying like, I just don't know that I feel it's that great from Canada, it starts to seep out a little bit of like, well, I don't know about that, Ref. I might be prompted to respond about that. So there's ways of getting it out of people. Let's talk about the fight, though, man. Tell me a little bit about fight week. So what does it feel like when you get there and you arrive for fight week? So where was this based?
This was at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. It was different. We got there on the Sunday. Right when we got there, up to our rooms, can't leave your room. They brought food up to us. And then Monday morning, we got tested right away. And again, back to your room until you have your result back. And I got it back on Sunday or Monday night. And then even still, the only time you're allowed to really leave your room is go down either to the workout room or to pick up food, like a takeout, and bring it back to your room to eat it. So, from Sunday till Thursday, I spent a lot of time in the room, kind of isolated, just watching movies and hanging out. But other than just kind of being bored a lot of the time, it was they ran it really good. Bellator did an awesome job of kind of following all the protocols they had to put this thing on. And they took care of all the fighters, really well. I actually kind of liked it how we each had our own little training rooms kind of thing. They'll have it segregated off, and each person has their own mat space. And they bought us all like these little portable saunas to cut weight in, because there was no sauna. You can't go in the spa or anything like that. So it was different, but it was overall it was a pretty cool experience.
Every time I see those saunas, it makes me think like, I don't know if you guys did this over in Canada, but for us here in California, they were always deathly afraid of earthquakes. So they would send you with an earthquake preparedness kit. So all of your saunas look like that little warm-up blanket that they would put in your packet of like, if shit goes awry, you've got a blanket and some like granola bars, and you're going to be A-okay with this flashlight, kid. And I was always like, if an earthquake happens, none of this is going to help me. So, all right. So you get there. Talk to me about the fight, because it was a very fun fight. And I do want to point out to our fans who, if you didn't get the chance to go watch it, I think that it was really cool. And one of the great things about it is you had that look and that feel throughout the fight of being not only in control, but of like, when you get to that announcement, it's nice to know like, yeah, I feel pretty good about this. And then of course it's an unanimous decision.
Yeah. No, I felt good in the fight, man. I was, I knew Eric was going to be probably one of my toughest fights yet. He's fought in UFC and Bellator, Combate. He's been all over the place, and he's done pretty well. And I said, I think I can either if I land a clean shot on him, I think I can put him out. But if not, I knew there was going to be a 3-round, pretty deep grind with him. And it was. I landed some good stuff on him, but he kind of kept coming. I just kind of chipped away. The first round I felt was definitely the closest round. But then after that, I just kind of found my rhythm, and I just felt, I felt his movement. I could feel him slowing down too, and my cardio felt good. And then after the third round, I knew that I won the fight for sure.
So talk to me at least about the difference between fighting pre-corona and in the midst of it right now, because to me, did it feel any different physically for you?
Physically, no. The only difference is basically the walkout, which is a big difference, because I think my walkout was probably 8 seconds long. I don't even think the words started coming to my song yet before they started playing his song. So I literally, boom, right to the cage, boom, next song. And so there's no crowd, there's nobody cheering. You get in there, and then the difference is not that I really hear the crowd at all when I'm in the fight, but it's the ability to hear my corner and his corner, and you can just almost I can pretty much had a conversation almost with my cornerman Lyndon as he was yelling stuff out. I'm just like, yep, okay, yep. So I actually kind of liked it, to be honest. In that sense, it was I don't know, it felt different. Like I like when the crowd's going crazy and stuff like that, but I like this one too. I liked it when it was quiet.
Well, obviously you have that experience from The Ultimate Fighter as well, so
Yeah.
you have a little bit more of a closed caption space. The only difference is you had hooligans yelling out during that fight, whereas this one's a little bit more of a muted affair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when did you know, you mentioned very quickly though, and I just want to make sure I pick this back up. When did you know that you had him? Because you mentioned that you felt him starting to slow down.
Yeah, second round, I said, I was landing my calf kicks, which have been, that's my new favorite move. Landing that and sparring all the time and training. And I started just landing those, and I could kind of just get his timing and his distance down a little bit better. And I felt I was I knew I was going to be the faster, more explosive guy in the cage. But I felt I can really pick that up in the second. And then come the third, I knew I was probably up 2 rounds, most likely. And I could feel I'm getting tired when we were clinched up. So I just said, I'm like, and I was not tired at all. I could have won another round or 2 for sure. And then I got his back in the third round and almost choked him out. Literally, I was like, I could hear my corner yelling, he's about to tap, and I was squeezing, but I could feel him just slowly getting out of there, and it was, his chin was slipping underneath. My arms were burning. So then I went for the armbar because the only reason I went for it because there's only, I think, 10 seconds left, and just went, for a Hail Mary to try and get it. But I felt after the fight that I for sure won this one.
We here at a show based on grappling applaud you for that. We're great about it. I just know it's hard to explain to people, and again, I don't know, but I have been told this. There is no greater difficulty than trying to get a submission with the last minute where your arm's burnt. You've punched people probably for a number of it. You've probably out grappled them, or you've probably come back from something. So trying to finish within that last minute is just literally like someone asking you to unseal the jar after you've had a hard workout. And you're like, I can do this normally.
Usually I can do this.
Right now is a very difficult. It's slippery. You put a lot of grease on this. That's what's happening. Because I lift weights and I can pick that up.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy. I would put it just like that. Exactly the same thing. Like you can usually, if that was first round, I probably would have finished that off. But that last little bit, I ran out of juice.
I just try to give you guys the benefit of the doubt when I watch these things, because I look at it and I go, I just, especially if I've trained with the person, I go, yeah, this is not what you think it is. Like, train with this guy on a regular round and see what you say after, because half the time you look over and you go, yeah, dude, this guy is a beast on the mats. Like, he would crush you here. So I do try to afford that. And so we've learned over the years, I think, to have a greater appreciation for those fighters who get those 5th round, 3rd round submission finishes. And I go, we salute you. I don't know how you pulled that off, but good for you guys. So, of course, they announce your name. You get that whole pomp and circumstance. There's no crowd there cheering. Is anybody clapping for you?
Just like my cornerman. And, we're happy. And
no, I mean, I get it. It's just, listen, dude, if I finish a stand-up performance and no one claps for me, you kind of sit there like, well, you're welcome for this time, everybody. I'm going to get off of the stage now. But I just wonder if you fight for 15 minutes and then all of a sudden you go, and I win. Nothing? Okay, well, cool. At least if there's like even a janitor being like, congrats. Yeah, dude, you did it. You're really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I don't think about that when I'm even in there when I got the win. It's like, I'm more just like happy in myself. But I seen like Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson gave me like the thumbs up. And then as I was leaving the cage, You know what sucks is you don't get to like talk to anybody. So I didn't get to go up to those guys and sit down and shoot the shit. But I seen Chael as I was leaving. He was up on the podium, and I just yelled at him. It's like, "Hey, Chael, what's up, brother?" And he just, "How you doing, brother? Good fight." So I had to give props to Chael, the man, the myth, the legend.
Absolutely, dude. And I think that's the beauty of having other fighters at the table is that they know exactly what you've been through. So when you are yelling at him like, "Hey, dork, you're the only fan here," and he's got to be like, "You're right, man. I gotta pump you up. I gotta be your hype man now because literally I gotta make up for no crowd here." And he's somebody who's usually good spirited about that sort of stuff. So you didn't get to do the post interview. I guess maybe one thing we can do here is, if we were to do a post interview, what would you have said? What would you have said if they had given you the time?
Well, I got to do one, but it wasn't in the cage. I had to do it afterwards.
Are they doing it remote now? Because I didn't see that part.
They take you to just a different room, and you're at a table by yourself with a camera, and they're asking you questions.
I was watching it a couple weeks ago when they literally were getting that stick.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like a boom mic that they literally did to a number of the fighters who they were just like, yeah, it was really, whoa, what the fuck is that? And then, like all of a sudden it's just this like random boom mic just coming in, like can't get a good distance on it. So, okay.
What did you only do that for the main card fighters?
Is that really all they do for the main? Well, that's weird. Okay. Because my thing is just like, listen, if they're going to take you to the main like other room, I don't know how much time they're saving by being like, well, got to bring in the boomstick as opposed to taking you to a different room for the very different part. So what did you end up telling them afterwards when they were interviewing? Because I didn't get to see that, unfortunately.
Just like basically we're talking about the fight and how I thought it went and how what my expectations were if I lived up to them and basically what next. And basically what we talked about, I said, the two guys that are fighting for the belt, and then you got Pettis waiting in the wings for the winner. And then I think that puts me at number 4. And they actually, I said, Bellator's got a deep bantamweight division. So there's lots of guys to fight. I mentioned, who I like to fight. I like to fight Gallagher. And I love it if it was in Ireland. That would be pretty dope. I've always wanted to go there. I still got a little bit of family there actually. So it'd be cool to do. I've never been there. That was pretty much it, man. Just and then they asked when I want to get back in there, and I said before the year's out if possible. So we'll see.
I just like the fact that a lot of fighters turn this into a genealogy experiment where they're like, I got family there. If they can just send me there, I can 23andMe this bitch and get over there and see some of my family.
Well, that's what I love about this sport is I've been to a lot of places that I probably would never have gone to, in any other circumstance. Like I fought in Russia. I've been out there twice. I fought in Romania. I've been out to Brazil. So places that I probably would never go, MMA has taken me there, which is pretty cool.
Do you have a particular favorite place that you fought?
Russia was pretty cool. They put on an amazing show, and just like how much they love fighting out there. That was cool. My dream place to go actually fight would be Japan. Just old school Pride style. I'd love to go out there and do that. I know Bellator, before all this happened, they always did the New Year's Eve show out there. So that would be one that I would love to get on.
Yeah, that would be really dope. It's so hard to explain to new fans. Yeah. All of the things that we've seen over the years, we've seen it adapt into this sport that was banned to getting cleaned up to, oh, okay, well, now it's kind of legit to, hey, the real fans don't do anything on New Year's Eve because the night before New Year's Eve, we're all busy watching some crazy ass fights. So to watch these guys now complain of like, I gotta get up at 2, and it's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, we have it so sweet now most of the time. So yeah, obviously that's a pretty nice thing. Do you do anything to commemorate it? Is there anything nice? Because so many of these celebrations have become muted, and most of the guys who I interview, who I know would normally go to say, I don't want to call it a strip club, but maybe something to that effect, have to now tell me, well, we went back to the hotel room and we had cookies. So did you have any kind of way of commemorating it that was special to you, or was it just kind of a little bit more of a muted affair?
This one actually, we did go back. We found a bar. Like, what kind of sucked is we wanted to sit and watch the fights, like the main card. But we weren't able to stay there. Once you leave, like you're not allowed back in. So we just headed back to the room, got changed, and then found a bar that was playing the fights. And then we just started, me and my cornerman just started crushing beers and watching the fights with everybody else at the bar. And then I hit the tables a bit and play a little blackjack. And that was pretty much it, man. But I mean, I think I went to bed at about 3:30 a.m. and we had to be in the lobby for 5:30 to catch my flight. So it was a rough morning, but that's usually how it always is after fight nights.
So let's talk a little bit about these things, because I think it's got to be pretty good. Like when I used to go to bars to watch the fights, I would be there for a pretty long period of time. How crazy is that the situation being what it is that you go, man, I really want to watch these fights. And they go, there's a bar down there. If you go down that way, you're going to be good. And you're like, why am I here? This is so weird. But of course, protocols, et cetera, et cetera. I just know that if I was at a bar, I would probably be like, that dude just fought. He's like literally on this TV 2 hours ago. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
So your game is blackjack, or do you play other games, or do you just go to what's hot for that night?
My game is blackjack, but I do play some other games. I would poker sometimes, not great at it. And
that's all the more reason to play with me in the future. So I'm writing that down. Like, might be able to take some of Josh Hill's prize money. Period.
But yeah, I would say 95% of the time I'm playing blackjack.
Okay. Did the tables treat you nicely? Because 3:30 sounds like a good amount of time to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't lose. I didn't win much, but I didn't lose. I paid for all of our beers and food that night. I'll say that.
Okay. Well, because I'm a fat kid at heart, and in reality, I need to know what kind of food and what kind of beers are we talking?
We ordered. I ordered the most random beer on the menu that I'd never heard of, just because I always like to try new shit, and I don't like getting the same generic, Coors Light or whatever every single time. So yeah, we ordered a bunch of those, and then what did I eat? I don't even remember what I ate. I think like chicken tender, Parmesan garlic chicken tenders or something like that. So they weren't bad, not bad. But okay. my biggest letdown was they had a hash house at the casino. And I love Hash House from when I was in Vegas, and it's the greatest chicken and waffles I've ever eaten in my life. And they closed at 10 p.m., so I missed it. And then they didn't open the next day till 8 a.m., and I was already gone. So I didn't get to have my chicken and waffles, which I'm really disappointed about.
Let me say, I want to put this on your corner because they let you down here. I would have two guys in my, let's say I had three cornermen. Two of the guys would be there purely for fight purposes, and then my rage captain would be in charge of not only hyping me up, but making sure I have my fucking hash browns by the end of the night. And it would be on him to go, hey, Raph, big news. They're closing by 10, but I secured us a spot. They're going to stay open because they said they'd do it for a champ. The fact that somebody didn't do that to you makes me think fired. Call him up.
It was only me and my one cornerman, Lyndon. But I think you're still right. I think I should give him shit for this.
Absolutely fired.
In between rounds, at least, and gone. Ran and put the order
in. Listen, Lyndon, I'm not saying you're not doing a good job. Obviously, there was results at the first part of the night, but the second part of the night, you let the man down. Listen, dude. This guy isn't just fighting for no reason. He's fighting for his goddamn hash browns with beautiful chicken and waffles. Like, give this man his due credit for winning.
I agree totally.
That's so disappointing. All right, well, I want to ask about a few things, because obviously it has been a while, and one of the things that is kind of nice about what we can do here, especially on this version as opposed to just the audio version, is I can implement things from the internet. And there was something that kind of caught my attention that you do. And it's possibly because I'm a huge entertainment lover. I work in the industry, so I have an appreciation for all things entertainment. Lo and behold, our friend here, Senor Gentleman Josh Hill, likes to create top 10 lists of his favorite movies. And obviously, he is so Canadian that his first list is about the top 10 hockey movies. So I guess we should walk through these. Why did you start doing this first and foremost? Because most people do these for about one or two and then they're done. You kept this facade up for a bit, my friend.
I lasted for a while, eh? I don't know how long it was, but I think it was like 2 months.
Like, there's a significant number of these. So why did you start doing them? Because is this all due to the pandemic and you were just watching this many movies?
This was definitely due to the pandemic. I wasn't definitely not watching this many movies, but I don't know. I just got bored, and I'm a huge movie guy, and I just like, oh, it's gonna make it like a top 10 list, and then I just posted the one, and then people just were all commenting on it and then liking or disliking my selections and stuff. So I just kind of, all right, I'll do another one, and then just kind of kept rolling, and then I just kept thinking of new like genres to do top 10s, and I don't know. I did it for quite a bit, but then it became like a chore, man. Give me I'm like, okay, what else can I think of? And then I kind of went blank. Then I forget a day, and then I was like, whatever, I'll take a breather. So,
did you have anybody disagree with your list vehemently?
I had always have people they're like, oh my god, man, I can't believe you left this out list. I'm like, well, bro, it's a top 10. I can't put 100 movies down there, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but piss off. That's my list, man. So I like it.
So let's go here. I think this is a good place to start because I just went to go double check and make sure that your hockey movies ends with the only acceptable answer. And yes, you didn't fuck that up. Slapshot is your number one, and that's the only correct answer. Like, I hear you, Mighty Ducks fans. I totally get it. Yeah. The only thing maybe before I go to this list, let me just double check here because I saw D3 was on this list, but I didn't see
all the Mighty Ducks are on there.
Yeah, I know, but there's an important element of which Mighty Ducks is before the other. Oh, you go 1 over 2.
I go 1 over 2.
I don't know. 2 ups the stakes to an international flavor, so it's a little dicey to put number 2 at the 6th spot over here.
I'm an original. I'm a lover of originality, so I do usually tend to like the first chapters.
Well, don't worry, because right now we're about to get into your top 10 martial arts movies.
Oh yeah.
So let me go ahead and pull. Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely a good one. I don't know why we aren't both on this one. So give me a second. Your martial arts movies. Here we go. At the 10 spot, Mortal Kombat.
Classic.
Okay. Number 9 is Kickboxer with Van Damme. Okay. 8 is Raging Bull.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's usually higher on people's lists, but for the action in it and everything in it, it's probably more dramatic than a fight movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is awesome, and that's why it's on the list.
Well, it's a hyperkinetic form of editing that then became what we know today. So like Marty and Thelma, his main editor that he's been using for ages, like they cut those teeth on like those editing scenes, which is why it's such a cinematic. Okay, I can understand this. That's fine. I already saw one of the funniest moments was on your hockey list. Somebody said, "Where's Vision Quest?" And I'm like, hold on. Everybody chill the fuck out. Best of the best over Vision Quest, though. Wow.
Yeah. It was a toss-up, but this one just got me a little bit more pumped, and it was team-based, and it had Roberts and Penn's brother in there, and James Earl Jones. It just had on everything, man.
Okay. Karate Kid number 5, solid. I get that.
Yep.
Bloodsport 4, get it. Yep. Interesting. So this is almost a weird flex here, my friend. So tell me how you get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 on this list.
So I would put this in my overall top movies of all time. Like, it would be up there, because I think it's amazing, man. But it has, like I said, it kind of has everything, and it is a martial arts based film, I guess you could call it. Teenagers that are ninjas and they're fighting. So I just think it deserved a spot in the top 3.
Okay. Rocky is number 2.
Yep.
I only have one acceptable answer that beats Rocky, and that's Rocky 4. But you went Sidekicks?
Greatest movie of all time.
Jesus Christ. So I didn't pre-screen this for a reason, and now I'm mad that I didn't pre-screen this. Why the fuck is Sidekicks your number one?
Bro, have you seen Sidekicks?
Yes.
Look, well, then what's your problem?
Well,
movie, I mean, I remember this was a movie for me as a kid. I would go to the video store by my house, and I'd probably rented this movie about 30 times. I remember they went there, and the guy's like, "Why are you back renting this again?" But this one, I don't know what it is, but I just absolutely love it. I think you know why? Because I was a kid that had bad asthma as a kid, and I could relate to the kid in this movie. He had it really bad, so maybe that's why I kind of gravitated towards it. But Sidekicks, man, it's awesome. It's so good. It's so 90s, early 90s, kind of cheese, but it's in a good way.
I mean, I watched that movie a lot too. But if somebody asked me to create a top 10 list in which Kickboxer somehow was lower ranked than Sidekicks, I feel I might get beat up from a lot of my friends. You're a professional fighter, so you can tell people to go fuck off or do something about it. However, I will tell you, your credibility is a little bit marked here. So that's why the second list I'm going to on this one is going to be one that I feel could mar, or I don't know, maybe it will bring a different subset here. But these are 10 rom-coms.
So, you picked this list. Out of all my lists, you picked this one.
Well, yeah, because I mean, listen, hold on. Before I go to this list, yes, I am going to pick this list for a number of reasons.
The most embarrassing list.
Just nothing short of you telling me, well, Raph, as a martial artist, I can tell you that the asthma subplot of Sidekick, it is what made me the champion I am today.
It might have been, yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. Of course, you're going to go ahead and give due props to Sandy Bullock, probably one of the best, and Julia Roberts, a noted person in the romantic comedy genre. So yeah, starting there too, I get that. Well, no, that is a child. That is not a romance. Let's see here. All right, the next one is 16 Candles. I kind of get that. My Best Friend's Wedding, not my favorite. Don't really care for it, but I know people love it. She's All That. Okay.
I actually watched it not too long ago, man. I seen it come on TV, and I just sat down and I finished it off.
Okay. Why do you put this above some of those other ones? Like, how is She's All That better than, say, The Proposal?
Probably because it's that teen element, and I was at that age, or a young teen when it came out, so probably. And also, this movie was like, when I watch this movie, I think of not another teen movie, and it makes me laugh.
That's fair. 50 First Dates. It's just fun. I like that. Never Been Kissed. Yeah, okay. P.S. I Love You.
This is one where I'm a little bit like, I don't like to say it, but I kind of liked it.
So why do you like this movie?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's Gerard Butler, Hilary Swank. Gerard Butler after 300, showing his softer side.
Yeah, it's truly a shame that fighters don't ever get to show their softer side. You're like, man, I had this crazy ass fucking fight, but yeah, let's all do a let's watch it. P.S. I Love You.
Yeah, perfect.
And The Wedding Singer at number one. So you're deep in on the Sandler and Barrymore, I see here.
I do. I mean, this one especially is, I think, the best. But 50 First Dates is good. But Wedding Singer, man, that's probably top 3 Sandler movies overall, I think.
Okay. Absolutely. I put that up there because, I mean, listen, dude, I still think Happy Gilmore is his opus to me personally, because
I would probably agree with you.
I love that movie of all the stuff. All right, I'm going to try and redeem you a little bit here. You have very interesting ways of coining these, like top 10 revenge movies.
Yeah.
See, that's a very particular one.
Subgenres too. It's hard to do.
All right, let me see. I'm going to pick one last one here. And I just, because you put one that was overrated, and I'm not sure that we want to go. Yeah, all right, we'll go overrated one. I saw a little bit of your overrated list, and I might have words on. Yeah, I actually did look at this one. I know that for sure. So I think this is a good one to bring up. Yeah. All right, here we go. Your top 10 overrated movies. Number 10 is Citizen Kane.
Yeah, garbage.
Wow.
Junk.
Wow, that's okay. Napoleon Dynamite, which again I kind of get. It's an acquired taste. It's not even in my top. It's just I get it. Okay. Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. I mean, not even that they're like, two gay dudes, but it's just like I couldn't even understand the movie, just mumbling half the time.
I mean, that's an acting choice, but let's get to this one. Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I had a lot of feedback on this one just because I think it's either love it or hate it. I just it's not that I hated the movie. I just thought it had so much hype when I actually did finally see it, and I was kind of let down.
Okay. Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, this one as well. It was, again, everybody, I've heard so many big things about it and big names in it, and then I watched it and I was just kind of like bored.
It was a different time, so yes, I kind of get that as well. Moonlight.
Junk.
So literally we're finding a number of Oscar winners here, not your jam.
Junk.
La La Land. Okay. Now, see, this is a weird one to me because this is as syrupy as it gets.
I'm not a musical fan either. I don't like musicals really. Very few.
I mean, I see you have Chicago and Moulin Rouge there, but I just like the fact that you have a whole list dedicated to romantic comedies, and you're like, no, I put the line at La La Land.
Yeah, that's the limit.
West Side Story, which again is a musical. Okay. Here's where we should have some words.
Sir, you want to fight me?
And if you don't love a lot of things, musicals, you don't have to love. I'm not going to make you do that. But The Big Fucking Lebowski is where you have issue.
What's so good about this movie? I just I think it's kind of like, like.
What's good about this movie? Buscemi, Totoro, fucking
all these guys are in it, but what do they do? It's just kind of like it just kind of let down, man. I'm not saying it was absolutely horrible, but I mean, for the hype it gets of how it's so good and it's one of the best, and the dude, I just don't think it's that great.
Do you not laugh at the personification of the character? Like, do you see Jeff Bridges in a movie and think, well, that's the dude?
I guess.
To me, that one is the one that I was like, as I scrolled through, I go, yeah, I'm doing this segment because fuck him. That's a terrible choice. And Mean Streets.
Yeah, this one I'm a huge Scorsese fan, right? So I like Harvey Keitel and all these people in it, and then I watched it, and I was expecting like Taxi Driver or something along those lines, like a casino style, but like kind of boring, kind of like
Okay, all right. I'm just letting you know this will be forwarded to the estate of Martin Scorsese and letting him know.
I love Goodfellas and I love The Irishman.
Now, I'm not including that in your note. I'm going to be like, yo, this guy didn't understand where it all began. Like, that's, to me, the Scorsese cinematic universe. Like, it's so deep to me that by the time I saw The Irishman, I was like, oh, shit, it's Harvey Keitel, with bigger, like, applause than I did for even Captain America picking up a hammer in a movie. Because I was like, oh, fuck, it's all my favorites showed up in a mob movie. So, all right. If you were to make a list right now, do you have something that you're looking to get back there? Because I think where you might have burned yourself out was doing them all during the pandemic, where you're doing it consistently. But now you're going to have some time when you get home again. So maybe do it like once a month, because that's a better way of spacing it out.
Yeah, a little bit more thought into my selections.
Do you have one in mind that you didn't get to do or you didn't get around to doing?
I think I knocked them all out of that I could think of, but it was trouble like thinking of subgenres to actually to do a top 10 list on, or some movies that didn't really have any genre, that kind of mixed of everything. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could always go. You went, what is this? Top 2000 to 210. You can always break it up by, obviously you've got 80s, 70s, 90s, all those sorts of things. But you still got some genres in there. You could do, heist movies. Did you do heist movies?
Yeah, I did do heist movies. I remember that one. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like there's always more. That's the worst part about it with these lists, is I always go, as somebody who also worked a listicle place, I literally went to there and said, "Oh yeah, I could do this for days, but it does get tiring when you go back on your 15th day of work and they go, what's the listicle today?" And I'm like, I don't really know, dude. I'm too tired. Let's just say 10 worst movies that Stallone's been in. Got it. Boom.
There you go. Boom. I can do top 10 Stallone movies right there. That's a good one.
Listen, dude, nobody loves Stallone movies more than I do. I literally the other night just said, I haven't seen Daylight in like 10 years, and I still like that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I like that movie.
But it was like one of those ones where I go, no one else is saying, I should watch Daylight. But I was like, dude, I was rooting for you back then, Stallone.
Yeah.
I guess the real issue I have is how Rocky IV didn't make any of your lists.
I'm actually to defend myself on that. I mean, Rocky IV is my second favorite Rocky, so it's up there for sure.
I have to give you some.
A lot of people like Rocky 2 or 3 better. Nobody likes 5, but I think Rocky 4 is the second best one.
Okay. I guess I can let you slide a little bit on it just because you've got the Canada in you, and like you don't truly understand how like most people love Eye of the Tiger, but my Eye of the Tiger is James Brown singing Living in America, because to me, I was like, yo, if I was a fighter, that would be the entrance, and then I wouldn't fight because I know what happens. So I would just make the entrance and be like, I forfeit because I'm not dying. That guy wins. Congratulations. I've seen what happened, and it creates a whole new set of movies. So yeah, I think you could 100% do a Stallone list. We'll listen to this, man. I've been so glad to see what you've been up to. I mean, one of the fun things about doing the shows early in people's careers is that we always catch you at a time where things change so quickly. People have very quick opinions over you, and you're on these major shows where people are, I'm sure, tweeting and having all their fun about it. And I always appreciated all of the fighters who were on The Ultimate Fighter who came on to get roasted by us. And they always knew that like we were rooting for them, but to sit there and watch how consistent your career has been and to watch you continue to put out great performances, dude, it's been one of our great thrills watching that for your career. And you're still going, man. Like that's the beautiful part about it is like you are making a very solid series of arguments through these fights to get that title shot, and we're definitely rooting for you, sir.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, I'll come on these as much as you want, man. You know what I mean?
I will probably maybe next time give you a little more leeway, and hey, man, I'm going to roast all of your top 10 lists, which are shit. Listen, I can't get it. I can't explain to a dum-dum if they don't get Citizen Kane and how it made movies. But, fine. Yeah, put it on your overrated lists because Never Been Kissed is so good. I get it.
You can't compare the two, man. Citizen Kane, Never Been Kissed.
They all took something from it. All you need to know is Drew Barrymore said at the beginning of every one of her movies, what the fuck is my rosebud? So that's how important these movies are. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to anybody you want to give a shout out to, be it the team that helped you get there, be it, your sponsors, anybody that you feel you want to go ahead and give thanks to, dude. I'm going to mute myself. Floor is all.
Yeah, thanks. Quest MMA, Parabellum MMA, Niagara Top Team, and Team Alpha Male. Thanks Bellator for putting on the shows during this time and giving us a platform to perform and also to make a living. So and all my sponsors, my family, my friends, management, and like I always say, thank you, man, for having me on again, and having some fun and following my career and being supportive.
Absolutely, dude. It's always great because I always tell people it's just fun to us to see so many of these people do big things. And a lot of you guys have gone on to do incredibly big things. But for us, it's like there is no harder game in this world than the fight game. So It's always super dope to see you do your things. I'm going to close this bitch up, but I'm going to say a few words to you off air if you don't mind sticking around.
Sure, man.
Sweet. All right. Our thanks to our good friend, gentleman, Josh Hill. All right, everybody, before we get on out of here, let's remind you tomorrow we've got Daniel Rodriguez stopping by, which will be really dope. Really excited to talk with D-Rod about his big series of wins over at the UFC, the least of which I'm sure due in part to Kobe Bryant and his never-ending love of him. I mean, the dude literally got tattooed on his leg a Laker symbol. That's intense, guys. Anyway, so we're going to talk to him. Just booked recently within the past day. We've got Kai Kamaka on Monday. Both of those should be at 1 p.m. Best Coast time. That is Pacific time. So remember that this weekend we're doing a fight companion for the UFC event, and then we're also doing a fight companion for Chael Sonnen's Submission Underground, following by the Wrestling Underground, which I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out. I don't know as much about wrestling. I mean, the fake kind. Obviously, the professional wrestling, I know all. It's different. But yes, their event, we're looking to do that. So just as a reminder, if you guys get the opportunity to go over to our sponsors, hit them up. It is Nogi BJJ gear. Buy yourself one of these rash guards. It is the Corona Weight Champ rash guard. Put Grappling Hour 15 in the promotional code tag. Take 15% off of whatever you put in the cart. That's going to do it for us here today. My name is Rafa Sparza. Thank you so much for watching along. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.